The Pied Piper of Hamelin, adapted by Carolyn Quattrocchi, illustrated by Tim Ellis. Once upon a time, far away and long ago, there was a town called Hamelin. It was a pleasant little town with a river on one side and a high mountain on the other. The people of Hamelin liked living there because they always had plenty to eat and drink. Their children were healthy and happy. One day, the people of Hamelin saw that they had a serious problem. Their lovely town was full of rats. Everywhere the people went, there were rats. Rats in the trees, the streets, the alleys, the attics, and the cellars. There were even rats on the top of houses. In short, rats were particularly everywhere. Rats went into the kitchen and barred the cooks. They nibbled the bread and cakes. They ate the cheese, drank the soup, and ruined the pies. As soon as one rat was chased away, three more came to take its place. Rats fought with the dogs and bit the cats. They made their nests everywhere in town, even in the gentlemen's hats. They were so noisy that ladies having their tea together could scarcely hear each other's voices. What on earth were the poor people of Hamelin to do? The most important man in town was the mayor. It was his job to see that everything ran smoothly. The mayor was a wealthy man who loved to eat the richest food and drink the finest wine. He wore a cape of fur, a cape of fine feathers, and costly rings on his fingers. He thought himself a splendid fellow. To help him with his job, running the town, the mayor had a council. The mayor and his council met each week to talk about all the things that needed to be done in the town. The weekly meetings in the town hall were festive occasions. They always had a feast of good food and wine. One day the townspeople said to themselves, "We have had enough of these rats of our town. The mayor and his council need to do something while the rats are everywhere. Something must be done." With that, a large crowd of people gathered before the town hall cried out, "Let us see the mayor." In his office, the mayor heard the people's complaints. He knew how awful it was to have rats in town. His own house was full of them. Sadly, the mayor did not have the slightest idea of how to fix the problem. None of the members of his council did either. Suddenly there was a knockety knock on the mayor's door. The people all turned to see a strange fellow standing there. He wore a long red cape and a hat with a red feather. He had yellow hair and a pipe hung from a silk scarf around his neck. "I am a poor piper," he said, "but I can rid your town of rats. Would you pay 100 pieces of gold for me to do it?" "Oh, I would give 1,000 pieces of gold to anyone who rid us of these rats," exclaimed the mayor, and the rest of the council members echoed, "Yes, yes, 1,000 pieces of gold." The Pied Piper stepped into the town square and began to play. How beautiful and sweet was his music! Suddenly, rats came running to him from all directions. Big rats, small rats, thin rats, tall and fat rats, old rats, and young rats came running. Before long, he had a whole army of rats behind him. Through the town and to the edge of the river, the rats followed the Pied Piper. At the river's edge, he paused, but the rats kept running. Without stopping, every single rat jumped into the air and drowned. The people were astonished. All the rats were gone. They cheered as the piper walked back to the town hall. To the astonished mayor, the Pied Piper said, "I've come to collect my 1,000 pieces of gold." "But, sir," cried the mayor, "that was only a joke. Surely you could not expect us to pay 1,000 pieces of gold for short work. Here are 25 pieces." "You promised 1,000," said the Pied Piper. "All right, here are 50 pieces. Take them and be gone," said the mayor. At that, the Pied Piper began to play his pipe again. He went down to the town square, and this time the children heard the music and came running to him from all directions. The Pied Piper had blown, more than a few notes on his pipe. The sound of many small, running children and running feet could be heard. The children listened, and the beautiful music was so sweet to their ears they could not help themselves. They ran to the place where the Pied Piper was playing. From each street more children came, small children, large children, brothers, sisters, and little babies and toddlers, non-binary children, carried by the older children. They all ran to the Pied Piper. Little hands clapped to the music, small feet dancing to the merry tune. What a parade they made! A long line of dancing children had formed behind the Pied Piper. Soon all of the children in the town were following the Pied Piper. He led them toward the river. The people were suddenly afraid. Would their children jump in the river as the rats had done? The Pied Piper turned and headed toward the mountain. The people thought he would never be able to lead their children over such a high mountain. Just then, the Pied Piper and the long line of dancing children reached the mountain. The townspeople were amazed as a magical door suddenly opened in a side of rock. As the townspeople watched, the Pied Piper led all of the children of Hamelin through the door and in the mountain. The, the poor people of Hamelin cried as they watched the Pied Piper lead their children through the door, never to be seen again. They were sad for what their mayor had done. The children of Hamelin went to live beyond the mountain land, and that was filled with happiness and laughter and sunshine. And the mayor got his comeuppance. The end.